Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So it's bright and early, Saturday morning. Get my program done, Mind, Body, and Soul. Figured I'd make a video before I go hit the gym. Today's leg day. Hope you guys are working out. I want to talk about right and wrong. Let's talk about morality. We talked about this once before, but I want to go into it again. I was studying Nietzsche, German. He talks a lot about morality. He's talking about this master-slave relationship and the theory that morality was invented by the slaves, by slave mentality, a slave mentality of submissiveness created morality. That morality wasn't created by the masters, it was created by the slaves. Then he goes on to describe what morality is, and it's the typical definition that we all know, so I don't have to, what's right and what's wrong. I thought it was interesting because I don't agree with Nietzsche. I believe more of what Yale had come up with. See, Yale had done a study on this, and Yale University had concluded that through their studies, that babies, infants, who have not been taught morality, still show the signs of knowing what right and wrong is and have morals and virtues. Little babies, infants. So is it nature or nurture? Are you born with your morals, or do you learn them from your environment? I think a lot of us believe that you learn them from your environment, but Yale says that morals are not subjective. Right and wrong is not subjective, it's objective. Just like any science, you can prove it. I think there's a lot of people out there who believe that good and bad are just subjective qualities. They're arbitrary almost, depending on your culture, your time period, your class, your location on the planet Earth. But I disagree. I think there are certain things that are wrong across the board. Go kill a little baby. Go kill a baby in front of a bunch of people. Grab somebody's infant and kill that baby in front of somebody. Do it anywhere on this planet. Do it in South Africa. Do it in North Africa. Do it in South America. Do it in North America. Do it anywhere on the planet. Do it in Alaska. Watch how people freak the fuck out. Watch how they grab you and tear your fucking arms and legs off your body for killing that baby. Watch how they do that to you. You're not going to find a society where it's just like, yeah, that was pretty cool. You're a good guy, even though you killed that baby. Here, why don't you be our leader? You won't find that. So it's not that subjective. It's not that subjective. There are right and wrongs. Let me go and fuck your wife in front of you, Cape Fear style. Right? Let me tie that bitch up, I'll fuck her to death while you're watching, while you're sitting there tied up watching, crying. Listen to your wife scream, moan. Maybe I'll kill her afterwards. Maybe I'll tie her up and burn her body and make you watch it. This happened. That's a news story. Fucking terrible story. Home invasion happened in D.C. This guy's employee. It was such a terrible story. And he broke into his house, killed the guy's family, wife and daughters, raped them both and killed them and burned them. And it was terrible. This guy was left alive to watch it. Do you think that's right or wrong? It's obvious. That's incredibly wrong. I mean, it chose a really awful story for a reason. To trigger people. That's a terrible story. Is there anybody out there that thinks that's right? Maybe the guy who did it? Are those subjective qualities? Can he have his own idea of what's right because the guy who did that horrible crime, maybe he's crazy enough to think what he was doing was justified? Does that make it right? Well, in his world it's right, and in my world it's wrong. It's all subjective. There is a right and wrong that animals know about, babies know about. A right and wrong that rules the universe. Now, we can get nitpicky, and there may be some scenarios which are culturally wrong in some places and then perfectly fine in others. Like you go to a Muslim country in the Middle East and your girl is wearing little short shorts, little Daisy Dukes, and her fucking top hanging out with no bra and her nipples popping. Oh, she will be accosted. That is wrong in a Middle Eastern country. Wrong, 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 wrong. They won't want you to even go outside the house. You'd be arrested. That's wrong. You go to one of these Taliban type countries and one of these weirdos with a stick will come and just start beating her. Just for breaking some rule, breaking some code. You go here where I'm at in Florida, that's literally every chick, even your grandma's dressed that way. Every woman is dressed that way in this town. They're all dressed like Kim Kardashian around here. Every one of them. You see old ladies with big fucking fake tits and collagen and Botox, and they're just barely wearing anything. Nipples look like torpedoes. That's completely normal. See that every day, all day here. So, what is right and wrong, right? There are some nitpicky little things that are just cultural. But I don't agree with Nietzsche that our natural state is to be savage and that we're taught morals by a weak, emasculated slave class who's looking for self-protection and self-preservation. He implies that morality was created out of a sense of self-preservation by the weak, by the slaves. And that the only reason why they have right and wrong is for self-preservation. The only reason why right and wrong is spread throughout our society, according to Nietzsche. Because you say, well, I'm not a slave. That's another video. We could debate whether you're a slave or not. You might not know it. But according to Nietzsche, the morality of the slave class bled into society, but still does not exist amongst the elites. So you may believe in right and wrong, and your priest and your church teaches you this. All aspects of the slave class, the slave mentality. This is according to Nietzsche. And then there's this elite class, this dominant ruling class. This little minority that runs us, that rules us. And apparently, according to Nietzsche, they have no morals. They're not moral because they're the masters. And they have a different sense of codes, a different sense of right and wrong. What may be wrong for us may be right for them. It's all subjective. Right and wrong isn't tangible. It's just some fantasy idea that you come up with in your head that serves your little emotional patterns. I don't think you can trust the Germans when it comes to a conversation about morality. People who started World War I and World War II. I think there is a universal right and wrong, and I think that the Ten Commandments is a pretty good, accurate list. I think it's important to understand what right and wrong is and to hold on to it and not to fall into this kind of liberal, progressive trap of philosophy where you think everything is subjective. There is nothing real. There's nothing finite. There's nothing empirical. It's only your perception and my perception. That's too vague for me. I think there are some finite realities. There are some things that we can point to that exist. This exists. This is right and this is wrong. This isn't just smoke in the air. This is solid. Tell me what you think. You follow Nietzsche? You believe that master-slave philosophy? That all right and wrong is subjective and that morality was created by an underclass of weaklings for self-preservation? And that the true nature of man is dominance, brutality? I don't believe that. Thanks for watching.